everyone, I'm Kealy and this is Voice of a Creative, and today I'm here to do a little bit of a sewing catch up. So I've just come back today from the Like So Amazing first birthday party, so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that and show you some of the fabrics that I've got, and then talk about some of my sewing plans for the next month or so. So first of all, the Like So Amazing first birthday party. Now I went to the shop opening a year ago and I'm really pleased that the shop has been going a whole year now, and it's definitely brought a lot more community to Bristol with lots more sewing events and things, and it's really lovely to have kind of a fabric shop where I can easily go and buy really beautiful fabrics. So we did the alteration challenge, so we were in two teams. I was in a team of 3 and then there was a team of 2, and Sarah had gone to the charity shop and bought a selection of shift dresses. We could then choose one of the shift dresses and then work as a team to alter the garment into something else. So I don't have a picture of the original garment because we forgot to take one. It was a black shift dress with gold detail stitching at the front, and then a border around the neck, the sleeves, and then the bottom of the dress as well. And I thought of the idea to make it into a pinafore. So to take the middle gold detail to have as part of the bib and then keep the skirt with the gold detail. So we set about doing that. So the other 2 members of the team did one did the straps and the waistband and sewed buttons on and things like that, and then one did the skirt, and then I did the bib and then made a little t-shirt to go under it so that we had a full kind of outfit. So we had 2 hours for the challenge, and I will pop in a picture of the finished garment, which isn't quite finished because we kind of ran out of time, but actually it looks really quite cute. And I'm just going to show you the little top that I made. This is the little top that I made. Now it is a cropped top, but that didn't matter so much to me because I was wearing a vest top anyway. So this is, I've actually got this fabric to make something out of, but this was an offcut that was in a box of fabrics that were there for us to use. So this is a blue and white cotton jersey. It's got the loops of the French terry on the back, really lovely quality. And this was just a thin kind of offcut. So I took off this jumper that I was wearing and used that to kind of use as a base, and I basically drafted or traced this grown-on sleeve top. It's just a little cropped one. I just folded it over and hemmed the sleeves and the bottom there, and then I added on a contrast neckband with the leopard print, which I think looks really cute. And this definitely has inspired me to add on contrast neckbands because it just brings something else to the garment. So that's that one. It was really fun to work as a team, kind of sharing ideas and kind of checking on things with each other, which was really good. And it makes me really excited for a couple of weeks' time, where I will be taking part in the Sewing Bee, which is run by Me Made Events. And I will post a link to their kind of details below. And basically on that day there is going to be a pattern challenge, which is the Ashton top by Helen's Closet, and then an alteration challenge in the afternoon. So hopefully I will come up with some really good ideas for that. I still need to choose my fabric for the Ashton top. I haven't thought about that yet, so I need to have a think about that really. After the alterations challenge, I had a look at some of the fabric and talked to lots of people, and it was really lovely to see lots of people again. And I bought 2 fabrics. Now, as you might or might not know, I'm trying to do 5 out, 1 in, mainly because I've got over 200 pieces of fabric in my fabric collection, fabric stash, and actually, although I feel like that's fine, that's a good amount, that's a fine amount of fabric to have, you can have as much fabric as you want. For me, I feel like having enough fabric to sew for the next 3-4 years is maybe a little bit too much for me, and I'm starting to feel the pressure of that. It's not really piling up because I've got it all stored away in my 5x5 Kallax, but I actually feel like I want to sew those fabrics and then just be a bit more careful about what I choose, rather than having loads of beautiful fabrics that I don't sew with and maybe sewing with cheaper cuts sometimes because I don't want to use the more expensive stuff. So I want to actually use kind of what I've got. So I haven't actually sewn 10 garments yet, but I have cut and I'm in the middle of sewing 11 garments. So I'm doing some batch sewing at the moment. And so what I kind of figured is those were all in progress. I will probably finish those in the next week or so. And so that would allow me to buy 2 pieces of fabric. Now, one I already had my eye on because I saw a top in Sainsbury's which was striped with a contrast neckband, and actually I wanted to buy a fabric that was similar, so I picked up that one. And then one is for the new dress pattern that I've just bought. So the first fabric is this one. So this is a cotton jersey, which is a really beautiful quality. Okay, so really beautiful quality, really lovely colour as well, with the kind of sage green and then the white. So I bought 1.5 meters of this, so I'm going to make probably a t-shirt, maybe a long sleeved t-shirt with it, and then I'm going to add a contrast neckband because I think that will look really cute. But really pleased with that one. I did put a call out on Instagram a little bit ago saying I wanted to find a stripe like this, and Sarah messaged back and said she would have one coming in, which is this one, which is perfect for the top that I'd kind of envisioned. So I will link that down below if you want to get some for yourself. The second fabric I bought was for me to make my first version of the orchid dress by Chalk and Notch, which I just bought. So this is a slightly more complicated kind of drapey dress. So it's got yokes here, and then it's a wrap bodice that gathers in, and then there's a yoke at the back as well. Again, the back piece gathers in, and then you've got the skirt attached as well. I think it's a really cute design, and I want to make a test version so that then I can make a second version for me to wear for the Sew North soiree, which is in May. So we'll hopefully have a chance to make a test version and then make the version for me to wear to that. So the fabric I've selected is this one. Now it's really tricky because actually in my fabric collection, although I've got a lot of fabric, whenever I buy a fabric, I kind of buy 2 meter cuts. So my simple jersey dress pattern takes kind of 1.5 meters to 2 meters of fabric, a top or a jumper maybe 1 to 2 meters. And so when I've been buying fabrics, I've mostly been buying kind of 2 meters, 2.5 meters. But on the packet of this for the midi version, it says 3 to 4 meters depending on size and things like that. And I actually only have 2 other 3 meter cuts of fabric in my stash, and those are going to be the Shelby dress by True Bias, and I already know that I want to make those from those fabrics. So I needed to buy something that I actually had the quantity of fabric that I needed, and then what I can do is see if it actually takes that much fabric and then make it out of a smaller piece if necessary later on, or kind of do a contrast yoke or something like that, but I can see that once I've made it. So I chose this fabric. Now this is a viscose twill, so as I was saying, one of my favourite fabrics. And this is this really beautiful kind of cranberry red colour, but really nice jewel tone, I think. The viscose twill is just slightly heavier weight than normal viscose, which is why I prefer it. But this is really lovely, has really lovely drape to it. And I think it will just look really great as that dress, and it'll be nice and soft, and it'll be a solid colour that I can maybe wear a patterned cardigan with, which I think will look quite cute. So that's what that one's destined to become, and it was really quite reasonable. So it was £8 a metre, and I bought 3 metres, so I think that's actually quite reasonable for this quality of fabric. And Sarah has it in lots of other colours on her website as well, so I will also link those. But yeah, really pleased with that one. The last thing I bought was some dungaree buckles, and that is because I've got the Bobby pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, and I already have some chunky cords in my stash that I will be able to use to make that. It says that I need, I think, 1.3 meters. I've got a lot of 1 meter cuts, so I'm really hoping that I will be able to get it out of that. If not, it's a bit awkward, but I will just have a look and see and hope that I can get out of those smaller amounts of fabric so I can give it a try. So on to sewing plans. Now in the month of January, I have actually only finished 1 garment, although I have all of those ones still to batch sew. I'm hoping to do a little bit of sewing tonight and get some of the other garments finished so I can show you them in my makes video, which will hopefully be going out next week. I don't think that I'm going to get much sewing done for myself in February, although I have got half term coming up in 2 weeks. And that's mainly because at school I'm helping with the production of Grease that we are doing, which is really great to get involved in kind of an extracurricular activity and get to know the kids in kind of a different way. It's been really lovely, and I've been singing in the rehearsals and helping out that way. But I'm also doing the costumes set and getting the props sorted for the performance as well. Now, that does not mean I have to make all of the costumes, but there are a few key things that I'm making, which are, like, there's quite a lot of circle skirts that I'm making, and I'm also making a dress for Cha-Cha and whatever other little bits and pieces. So I'm making 2 circle skirts, one for Sandy, and I'm gonna do that in like a yellow cotton, which I need to get, and then I'm doing a circle skirt for, it's the singer that sings at the dance, but we've kind of changed it to a female character. We're going to make a skirt with music notes on it, so I've got this kind of really silky fabric, which I think is going to be interesting to work with. So I'm going to make that, and then I'm making a dress for Cha-Cha for the dance as well, because we haven't really got anything kind of similar that we kind of want her to wear. So I picked this pattern out of my stash. I'm actually going to make this version. So this is a halter neck, basically a halter neck dress with slight gathers here, and I'm going to make it out of this silky fabric. Now I am going to make a test version to start with, but I'm hoping that it will turn out all right, because sewing for myself isn't usually not a problem, but sewing for obviously different sizes and shapes of people is a little bit more tricky. The last thing I'm going to do for the Grease performance is to make some kind of cheerleader skirts, because we've got some cheerleaders in the performance, and I'm going to make them reversible so that they can wear them as part of their dance outfit as well. So there's lots of kind of thinking going into that, so I think that's going to be quite a bit of my time kind of taken up. But I am really looking forward to the release of the new Tilly and the Buttons book, so I am hoping that I'll have a little bit of sewing time over half term to actually make some things for me, maybe from that book, as well as from the new patterns that I've bought, because I do have quite a few patterns that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. So I think that's going to be one of my things over the next couple of months, is to try and sew at least one pattern a month, so I can go get through some of my patterns that I've been kind of hoarding up. So look out for my makes video next week, and the following week I'm hopefully doing a video on the sewing bee that I'm taking part in. I'm going to hopefully try and take my tripod with me and film some of the day, like me sewing and maybe getting stressed with small time constraints. So that should be really fun, but I will see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Goodbye.